So if you're not in the loop of things and you haven't been on the Christian part of YouTube at all in the last couple of weeks, let me update you. So Wes Huff went on Joe Rogan's podcast and he made the comment that the book of Isaiah in the Masoretic text, I don't know how to, Masoretic, I think that's how you pronounce it, was word for word identical to the book of Isaiah in the Dead Sea Scrolls, which is shocking because the Dead Sea Scrolls are over 1,000 years older than the Masoretic text, and they've been translated over time, so word for word would be incredible. So this was shocking to Joe Rogan. But here comes Alex O'Connor claiming that this is not true. It's not word for word. It's more like anywhere between 95 to 99% accurate, depending on who you ask. So Alex makes this response video to Wes, and Wes responds back to Alex. Gavin Ortlund responds to Wes responding to Alex. Ruslan KD responds to Gavin Ortlund responding to Alex, responding to Wes responding to Alex. Alex has a 3.5 hour conversation about Ruslan's response to Gavin, responding to Alex, responding to Wes, responding to Alex. And the cycle goes on, seemingly forever. Now, I think you can kind of see why this is becoming a problem. Now, I have no issue with people correcting Wes if he was incorrect on a topic. Wes, in his response video to Alex, admitted that he should have used different words instead of word for word, and that's not the case, but that it is closer to 99%. I think that people should voice questions about the Bible that they have, or issues that they have with the Bible like Alex is doing. And I personally have no issue with Alex or Gavin or Wes Huff or Ruslan. I like these guys. I think that they're good Christian YouTubers. Alex, obviously, is an atheist, so he's not a Christian YouTuber, but I think that he appears to be a good guy and he poses valid questions. And I am in full support of him questioning the Bible. I see no problem with that. The problem that I have with this is now Christian YouTube is full of these response videos and people talking about this one thing. And Christian YouTube right now is completely oversaturated with this one minute detail. This clip sort of sums up what's going on.
What this is going to come down to, Alex, is if the question is 95% the same versus 100% the same, is that essentially right or is that essentially wrong? I'm going to take the position, and you might think this is unfair of me. You might think this is technically. I'm going to take the position that in a conversation, not a debate, not an academic paper, in a conversation, he is essentially right. You disagree with that conclusion. Dan McClellan has been generous and said up to 99%. So to me, we're splitting over 1%, and you're saying, well, technically he's wrong, and I'm saying he's essentially right. And it becomes an issue of how do we then deal with that? Is 95%, 99% versus 100%? That there is the discretion. And let me just reiterate, the verdict is still out. They're still working on this, and they're going to compile the data and go dive deep into it and let these textual critics of the Old Testament sort it out. So that's where we land.
This whole thing is about this one issue on whether or not 95 and 99% is a big difference or not. It's completely a matter of opinion. As many people have stated, 95 to 99% the same over 1,000 years is still incredible. So Alex making the non-stop argument and making this all that people are talking about because of Wes Huff misspeaking and it being 99% accurate instead of 100%. Even though Wes already apologized, this is a huge waste of time. There are much bigger issues at hand right now that Christian YouTube and Alex as well could be discussing. People keep talking about how they want Alex to come to the Lord, which I do too. Of course, I seriously pray that. But guys, Titus 3:9 says, "But avoid foolish controversies and genealogies and arguments and quarrels about the law, because these are unprofitable and useless." Again, I am all for Alex coming out and questioning the Bible and people debating with him and people responding to him. That's not the problem at hand right now. The problem that I see is that this is all Christian YouTube is talking about right now. It's whether or not Wes Huff was correct on this one point, completely disregarding the rest of the podcast. Now, obviously, he wasn't correct about 100% of things. Nobody's going to be 100% correct on 100% of things in a 3.5 hour conversation in a high pressure environment. That's just not going to happen. Obviously, we need to give Wes some grace, but also we need to not let this one point, this one issue disregard the rest of the podcast, which was it was a great podcast. It was a great conversation. And I think that this is changing Joe Rogan a little bit. And I think that the Lord is weighing on his heart a lot. And I think that this podcast is a big part of that. And we should celebrate that instead of wasting our time talking about whether 95 to 99% accurate is a problem when he said word for word. It doesn't matter. So yeah, that's just my opinion. I know other people are going to have other opinions, but I just think there's bigger problems at hand. I think that Alex can be dealt with privately instead of in response videos and all those kinds of things. I get that that's the way YouTubers are and that's the way YouTubers work. And here I am making a video about it as well. But so I know I'm kind of being hypocritical in a sense, but this is the last time I'm going to discuss it unless there's some huge change or something like that. I don't plan on talking about this anymore because there's no point. There's no point. It's a useless back and forth forever. It's a point that's based completely on opinion, whether or not you think that 99 is a big 99 and 100 are a big deal. It's useless. So yeah, that's my opinion. People are going to disagree with me, and that's fine. I just wanted to say how I felt, and I think that we need to stop this back and forth. So yeah, see you guys in the next video. Peace.